So Las Vegas Raiders owner Mark Davis inherited the team with no manual on how to run it. His father, Al Davis, is the only man in history to be a position coach, a head coach, a GM, an owner, and a league commissioner in the AFL/NFL. So no, he is not his father, who the HE double hockey sticks is. And of course, he has no shortage of people that want to work for him, telling him it is their vision that will get the Raiders back on top. Davis gave former Raiders a shot, even fraudulent ones. But he has learned a lot on his journey and has finally picked two real ones to lead the Raiders into the future. Davis started off just wanting to run the business side of things and wanted to give the football side of things to someone else. So out of Raider loyalty, he gave the GM job to Reggie McKenzie, who played for the Raiders from 1985 to 1988. And he made his way up through the personnel rankings under former Raider GM Ron Wolf with the Green Bay Packers. So McKenzie, a GM for the first time with no experience with the coaching side of things, hires Dennis Allen, a young, ambitious defensive coordinator. And Allen looked like a robbery victim at post-game press conferences. But in all fairness to Allen, he was the coach during the Raiders' deconstruction phase. Either way, Allen's tenure as the head coach of the Raiders was a disaster, so McKenzie fired him and plugged in Tony Sperano as the interim head coach. Then in 2015, Davis got involved and hired Jack Del Rio, who went 12-4 and made the playoffs in his second year but inexplicably fired his offensive coordinator soon thereafter. So after a bad 2017, Davis fired Del Rio and hired John Gruden, the guy he wanted but couldn't get since he took over in 2011. And while I was happy along with the rest of Raider Nation, I was concerned about his personnel decisions because of the ones he made in Tampa Bay. Ooh, and let me tell you, outside of Colton Miller in the first round, those personnel decisions weren't very pretty in 2018. So he would fire McKenzie, which was justifiable because he didn't have a good draft class since 2014. Then he and Mike Mayock would have plenty of hits, misses, and fights over personnel. But Gruden was in charge of it all because he was the one that everyone was coming out to see. He was the rock star head coach with the cult of personality. But we were sold a bill of goods. I argued with the former Raider and I was pro Gruden at the time. And I mentioned the offense in the 2002 Super Bowl and he said, Gruden's conservative. I don't know why you think he's just going to light up the scoreboard. Then he said Tony Dungy put together the team that he won the Super Bowl with. What did he do with that roster and that team when some of those players started to get old? Then he said, truth be told, the offense got more explosive and they went to the Super Bowl after he left. And of course he knew that offense because they didn't change anything, so he whooped them. If anybody else had gone to the Super Bowl, we don't know if he would have won or not. Then I tucked my tail between my legs and said, you're right. And I've been calling him sir ever since when I see him at the gym. After that conversation, I wasn't surprised when they struggled to score points. With quarterback Derek Carr before Gruden, the Raiders were 1st, 8th, 13th, and 8th scoring touchdowns in the red zone. With Carr and Gruden, they were 22nd, 23rd, and 29th. Gruden said what he said in those emails anyway, so he resigned and Jim Harbaugh became the favorite. After all, Harbaugh did get his start in coaching with the Raiders, and Davis did hit him up to become his head coach before. Harbaugh's actually just like Gruden too. He's conservative and has to be in control of everything. And he went to 3 straight NFC Championship games with the team Mike Singletary built. It doesn't stop there. He played Michigan against the NFL just like Gruden did with ESPN. But Davis showed no interest in Harbaugh. He hired 2 real ones to be his GM and his head coach. After an extensive search, Davis hired Dave Ziegler as his GM. He's known for the quick turnaround of the New England Patriots this year, and his in-game work with scouting reports spearheading the Patriots' greatest comeback in Super Bowl history. And Josh McDaniels, the offensive coordinator for all 6 of their Super Bowls, is now the head coach. You can clearly see the growth of Davis when asked why he put the duo of Ziegler and McDaniels together.
Yeah, that's a good question. When I first came in, the first hire I did was Reggie McKenzie as the general manager of the Raiders. And it was important to me because we really hadn't had a general manager since my father had been running the team. And I gave Reggie the ability to bring in his own head coach, which was the ability to have some type of working relationship. And that didn't work out so well at that time. I think it was because they were two young guys that were working together, but they really didn't have the experience to run a football team. Then we come to the next iteration was John and Mike Mayock, and they built the roster that's here today, but it was a rocky road. And so I felt in this time we were going to do it a little bit differently and try to find a teammate. And therefore, in every interview that we did with a head coach, we asked him who he would think of as a general manager or general managers. And on the other side of the coin, we asked that to every general manager as well. Who would you think of as a head coach? And it was such an expanding learning process, hearing about all those things, but we felt that it was really important for them to have synergy. And I couldn't have found a better pair of people working together from John Carroll University than these two gentlemen.
Interpretation. I wanted to put two people together that were good at what they do, but at the same time, I want the building to be harmonious. I just want to be able to run the business side of things. I don't want to have to come in and break up fights or break a tie anytime they're battling over a player. No more Gruden versus McKenzie, no more Gruden versus Mayock, and I get to stay on the business side of the building. I can't help but wonder if this is a shot at Gruden's non-ability to adapt.
I've just always seen the Patriots as a team that not only adapts from week to week or half to half, but maybe even series to series. I just believe in Josh's ability to assess the situation and make the changes in real time.
And here comes Davis's hope for McDaniel's ability to do something with Carr.
I've seen them do it with Tom Brady, of course, the greatest of all time, but I also saw the development of Tom Brady, the greatest of all time. And then I saw it with Matt Castle. I saw him be able to win with him and make Matt Castle the hottest free agent commodity in the market. Then I saw him do it this year with a rookie quarterback.
And of course, he saw some things that reminded him of the old Raiders that he wants to get back to.
With their personnel and everything, it's a lot of no names that they do it with, and every now and then, you know, they'll bring in a big name free agent, but he fits a spot. And that kind of reminded me of the old Raiders in that way, that we used to be able to do that. And I tease him because they took a player from us, a guy by the name of Randy Moss. And I told him, you got Randy Moss, and you couldn't even win with him. And the funny part about that is they won 18 games, but they lost one. But I really just, you know, again, in watching it and being around this sport for a long time and watching the excellence that was brought to the field by the Patriot organization and knowing that Josh was a huge part of that and talking to people that are also part of the Patriot organization that I know in my network of people, I got the feeling that this was the right guy.
So no more rock star coaches, retreads, frauds, or guys that just want to play two sides against each other to get the best deal for himself. In case you didn't know, Harbaugh is staying at Michigan. Davis has seen it done right before with the Raiders. So when he took a look over at New England, he wanted it back and took two real ones from there. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.